Alright, I'm doing a video on parallax. I'm going to explain what parallax is. Parallax. The effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from different positions, e.g. through the viewfinder and the lens of camera. The angular amount of parallax in a particular case, especially that of a star viewed from different points in the Earth's orbit. See, and then they kind of show you like this. Parallax is a displacement or difference in the apparent position of an object viewed along two different lines of sight, and is measured by the angle or semi-angle of inclination between these two lines. See, we'll walk outside here for a minute and explain parallax. What parallax does is it explains the way the personal sun and moon. See, the sun is small, close, and local to each observer. And so I've got many videos that show this at close and far proximity. See, parallax, that definition and the pictures that they show you would suggest that the Earth is concave, and for there to be one sun, it has to be really big and far away. So that's what they explain it with. But for it to work, it would have to be a concave world. And it would, for just like, okay, so you have a ball, you have Johannesburg and Finland. They're like 6,000 miles apart, one's in the north, one's in the south, but they're over a huge curve, but the sun's directly above them, and the one down there is directly above them. That's in the opposite direction. Parallax is showing it to be like the same direction. So that's the opposite way of what they explain it. So I've got several ways to debunk parallax, because just like I said, at close and far proximity. Like, okay, 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun is already in your area. It's like, you know, the Hitler sign, Hitler wave. About 9 o'clock, it's already in your area. It's shading the insides of the clouds on the horizon and the inside of the clouds in between you and the sun. So, and it stays centered and local to you. So like at 9 o'clock when you're traveling down the highway, the sun will stay at that angle, and the shading of each cloud will change and change and change. But if it was really big and really far away, the shading of those clouds wouldn't change like that. It wouldn't travel with you. The shading of the clouds wouldn't travel with you. Okay, at noon, so like, it's about 1 o'clock right now. When you're traveling down the highway and it's a bubble cloud day, just like these bubble clouds, and there's a bunch of them, they're moving around. When you're traveling down the highway, it will travel with you. It'll travel with you, and when you stop and pull over on the side of the road, the sun will stop behind whatever cloud or in front of by itself right there. But then you imagine it for somebody else that's 30 miles down the road. They're not seeing it. They're not seeing this cloud right here. But see, like at noon, this is perfect observation. I have another observation. All these things I'm talking about I have observations for. One sun for everyone. When you get a perfect bubble cloud above you and the sun, it's blocking the sun, it shades your area, notice, look up at it. If your eyes don't bother you, you're going to have to start to adjust your eyes to be able to look up at the sun, see? And it won't bother you. The more you look up, the more it won't bother you. But the sun will be beaming in a 360-degree manner from that cloud. But yet, so somebody like way down the road that way, that cloud over there right beyond them trees, somebody's seeing it right above them. And we're both looking south and looking up. We're both looking south and looking up at the sun that's right above me. But if they wanted to see my cloud, they'd have to turn and look north and to be able to see my clouds. You see what I'm saying? So it's personal and local to everybody, but they want to blame it on parallax. But that would assume that there's a concave world. But you have Johannesburg in Finland that I don't support concave, by the way. I support a flat and stationary Earth. And well, I believe the Earth has form. It's not completely flat. There's terrain on the plane. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Okay, so like at 3 o'clock, same purpose as 9 o'clock. You'll have, it'll be between the clouds on the horizon and the clouds between you and the sun. And it'll travel with you. It'll travel with you as you're driving down the road. It always stays centered to you. That's the same distance. Not centered to you, the same distance it was, it is, as it's slowly rising and setting. You know, you ever walk away from a lamppost? Your shadow slowly gets bigger. Well, during this day, your shadow will slowly get bigger as the sun gets away from you. That tells you the sun is small, close, and local to you. It's just slowly getting away. And people say the flat earth community, a lot of the flat earth communities, they've been fed this lie by Juranism and other people. These mainstream, they tell you it's 3,000 miles away and really big. And that's the reason we are experiencing, another reason we might be experiencing parallax. They don't say that because they don't believe in mainstream science. But it's smaller than the clouds that are above my head, which aren't even a couple miles wide. But my little bitty bubble clouds can block out the sun for me. And just like the moon's easier to tell because it's a lesser light. It only illuminates the clouds around it. Yet somebody 40 miles down the road in Hattiesburg isn't seeing my clouds, and they're seeing it illuminate their clouds, but they're looking up at the same angle to see the moon, even though they're not seeing the same clouds. I hope I'm making sense. So, like, when you see crepuscular ray photos, and you fail geometry class, if I explain this once again, it's coming down left and right, everywhere from that area, from those clouds. And it appears to be small and close and local because it is. But those crepuscular rays and those clouds, that piece of Earth you're looking at is only one small portion of Earth. Just like when it's in your area between 9 and 5 o'clock every day, 9 to 5, that's only a small portion of Earth. The sun is staying within those clouds and shading the insides of your clouds all day long. And that's a small portion of Earth. So you think it's the same sun that you're going to see in your time zone, a state away, 2 states away, 3 states away? No, it's not. So, like Johannesburg and Finland are 6,000 miles apart, 9,000 miles if you drive. And during the equinox, they share a small local noon sun. And same size shadows, same length of day, roughly at the same angle. But it's just crazy that people don't realize this shit. I've been trying to wake up everybody to this anomaly because it's without a shadow of a doubt that this place was perfectly created and is a grand design and is made for you and me. See? Oh, that's a pretty big cloud. But see, this cloud isn't 30 miles wide. My town's not even that big. My town's like pretty small. And see, the sun's right behind these clouds. But you think see, I'll say somebody south of me, 10 miles south of me, right? I'm going to explain this one more time. 10 miles south, 10 miles east, west. The sun, right there, is at the same angle for the people 10 miles that way, 10 miles that way, 10 miles that way. They're looking up to the south, and it's slightly to the west right now because it's 1 o'clock. And they see it right there. But they're not underneath my cloud. Now that's parallax. That's mainstream science parallax. But on the globe, say you got a ball. See, this is a ball. Johannesburg is up here. Finland is up here. Johannesburg's down here. The sun is above them, and the sun is above them. Now that's even further away, down here and up here on the ball. But they're saying parallax goes inward. There's a reason we're seeing the same object with two lines that are running towards one another. Anyway, my baby girl's starting to get aggravated that I'm doing this video. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope everybody understands these observations and stuff. I'm starting to feel like I'm crazy. Nobody's sharing it. Everybody's being a complete utter tool. They don't want to talk about the personal sun and moon. They don't want to talk about anything that actually is testable, observable, and repeatable to everybody. Everybody can go outside and do this. Everybody. You can share this as yourself. You can talk about this as yourself. You can look up and watch the beams go in every direction above your cloud. But you know that somebody either 1 mile down the road is not experiencing your cloud, and somebody 1,000 miles away from you looking up at the same angle at this different cloud is not looking at the same sun as you are, as parallax. That's not parallax. Parallax doesn't exist. The sun and moon are in fact personal to you. Love, peace, and hugs.